Hello, I'm going to talk to you today about Minder Cloud. It's a tool from Stacklok that helps you secure your software supply chain from your source code repos and dependencies to your CI/CD workflows and build artifacts. Let's start with securing source code repos. It's common for a software project to have more than one repo, sometimes even tens or hundreds. Making sure that you have the same configuration applied across all your repositories can be a challenge. I've gone ahead and configured a custom profile that shows off a few of Minder's features to apply a set of policies consistently to my GitHub repos. Looking at the policy, you can see I've set up a variety of rules for enforcing branch protections on main. I also have this profile set up for automatic remediation, so when Minder finds a repo that's not compliant with these rules, it will immediately take action to fix it. You can see here that I've set up and enrolled 4 repos for management under Minder. We're going to be looking at this Python app repo today. I haven't done any configuration on the GitHub side. All of this management is being done through Minder to manage the security settings. So let's see how this looks. So we can go over to branches and we can see that Minder has applied this branch protection rule. Now if I go ahead and delete this branch protection rule, now I could go ahead and rewrite the history on the main branch or do any number of other unsafe things. But if we reload, we'll see that Minder has immediately noticed and put back the branch protection rule so that you remain continuously protected. Now let's go back and look at what Minder can do for dependencies. So I was showing you a custom profile that I'd built, but Minder also comes with a number of built-in Stacklok managed profiles to help you manage your repositories. So in this case, let's look at what we can do for dependency security. And we've created a dependency security profile. Let's turn on automatic remediation. We note that we don't do this by default so that you have a chance to look and see what it's going to do before it springs into action. Now going back to the Python app repo, we can see that Minder has opened a pull request to add Dependabot configuration. Dependabot is a tool that GitHub provides that will automatically update your dependencies when needed. We've also have 2 PRs outstanding, and Minder has taken a look at these PRs to try to make sure that we stay safe. So in this first PR, I have gone and added requests using the version of requests that I had on my local machine. Now it turns out that I don't always keep my local machine up to date, and so I actually included an old version of requests. Old code is not necessarily bad, but in this case, there are 4 vulnerabilities that have been reported. And Minder has detected that I'm attempting to check in vulnerable code and has instead made a suggestion that I use a version that does not have these vulnerabilities. You can see this is a blocking request, so I can't check this in unless I either dismiss the review or accept the suggestion. Now let's take a look at how Minder integrates with Trusty, which is another free service from Stacklok, to keep you safe even when vulnerabilities haven't been reported. So in this case, I'm adding Python OAuth 2. I picked that because I did a Google search for a Python OAuth library, and this was the first hit. So that seems like probably a pretty good idea. And there's no vulnerabilities, so that also seems pretty good. But Minder has investigated this package using Trusty, and it's highlighted that this may not be the most sustainable dependency. It hasn't had a lot of changes in a while. And instead, it comes with the recommendation that we might want to look at OAuth-lib, which is better supported with a broader community. And if we click through to get the details, we'll see that Python OAuth 2 is deprecated and has been for a number of years. So even though it's highly ranked on Google search, it's not actually a safe thing to use. Even if there aren't currently any known vulnerabilities, one could pop up tomorrow and we wouldn't be protected. Now we're going to look at one final feature of Minder, which is another profile to help you secure your GitHub Actions. So we're going to apply this profile. And again, we're going to turn on automatic remediation right away because I'm showing you this stuff. And if I was doing this for real, I might go and look and see what it was going to suggest before I actually did it. But in this case, since I'm doing a demo, you know what's going to happen. We've got some new PRs. So we're adding Dependabot for GitHub Actions to keep your GitHub Actions up to date as they get released. We are also sending a PR to pin your GitHub Actions to specific commits. Now, this is something a lot of people may not know about, but when you say something like uses Sigstore cosine installer at this version, what you're saying is whoever can control the tag v3.1.1 in this repo can change the code that executes during your CI. If you want to make sure that other people outside your org can't change your CI, GitHub recommends that instead you resolve that tag to a reference, and you list the reference here. If you have dozens or hundreds of workflows, that can be a real pain to do manually. Minder can come in and do this automatically, and then with the Dependabot edition that we mentioned earlier, Dependabot will allow you to review and decide when you want to take on those new changes from upstream. So this is a helpful security tool, and when I'm working in a repo that has Minder turned on, I will check in this and then let Minder come along and fix it to the right version because I'm lazy and don't want to have to go look that stuff up myself. So hopefully that's been an interesting and useful introduction to how Minder can monitor your software projects and help keep them continuously secure. Minder Cloud is free for public repos, so I encourage you to test it out and let us know what you think, either on Discord or find us on social media.